Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Yukir tribe, here on the snowy mountainside. And it is once again snowing, which means that it is time for the Yukirs to start turning back towards one another, trying to gather under the family trees that they have established so they have enough nuts and hopefully enough berries to eat through the cold winter, and to stay with one another, warming each other in the family nest, especially if they happen to be lucky enough to enjoy some mammoth foot creatures nearby. And we do have a brand new mammoth foot creature who will hopefully represent the future of the Yukir tribe genetics that we are going to be breeding up with another mammoth footed creature pretty soon, a little Dethandrius. And unfortunately, this little baby, I really hope that he will grow up soon enough that we can move him into a hot springs, happens to have doubled up immunity. He has double immunity D along with double mammoth foot, and we really want to make sure that he can pass those on. It's very hard, it turns out, to have our mammoth footed creatures with just one foot pass on mammoth foot to more than one, or like to any of their children. He is the third born of Moon and Elfrida's children, and they have really dreamed, or at least Elfrida has really dreamed of boldly making sure that his branch of the family tree can contribute to the Yukir tribe by being able to have the mammoth foot strong in his family lines and an adventurous spirit, and keeping very strict rules when it comes to watching over the tribe as a group when the snow comes down and threatens to freeze niche creatures. So Elfrida has always had very strong opinions about creatures staying with other tribe members when the snow comes down. And now that he has finally had a son who has double mammoth foot, I feel like it is such a tragedy in his life, such a bitter thing for Elfrida to have to deal with, that his first child with mammoth foot, even like not only double mammoth foot, but any mammoth foot at all, since Anna and Asi Akadok, oh my gosh, he's got quite the name, don't have mammoth foot at all, is sickly and has to be sent off to the healing hot springs if he survives his cold little babyhood. So I think that Elfrida would be a little upset about that, but we're going to try to have another child with Moon here, and hopefully if we can get some healthy mammoth foot creatures from this little family with their bold adventuring, then the mammoth footed creatures can start interbreeding with our purebred Yukirs over here, who are really carrying on that dark black megahorn, and it looks fantastic, and we might be able to guide them to the new island. But I feel like these guys got distracted attacking the balance bear and have kind of forgotten the fact that they need to continue on and search for more of their ancestors locked away in those ice blocks and the prehistoric genes along with them. And it's actually Elfrida's branch of the family tree who has the adventurous spirit that look forward to crossing this treacherous icy path and finding their way to the next snowy island. So hopefully Elfrida and Moon will have more children with mammoth foot, but if not, ooh, and that was a little loud, sorry about that guys, I got excited. Hopefully Dethandrius will live long enough to breed with Simi, and they will not only have children with mammoth foot, but they may even have children who will have the megahorns, maybe even armored body, and maybe even hammer tail, which would be fantastic. We really want to try to get those purebred Yukir genes of megahorns, armor body, and hammer tail mixed in with mammoth foot, and I want to try to keep mammoth foot in a lot more. I wonder if it'll actually help our Yukirs who are born with armored body to stay a little warmer. And actually Dethandrius, he should be a little bit warmer once he grows up. He's a baby right now, so that means he's totally cold, but he does have double mammoth foot, and I think that'll keep him warm. Let me check over here. Like Tosco over here only has medium body and one mammoth foot, and he's fine right now, but a bunch of the other nichelings are starting to get cold being out in this level of weather. So I feel like mammoth foot may really help out, even just one may really help us out, so we no longer have to like cluster so close together and tremble and nearly freeze to death when we are out in the snowy lands. And actually, give me just a second, because now I'm really actually quite curious. Is there anything else that lean body gives you heat resistance, big body would give us cold resistance, but heck if I'm going to give up our really fantastic armored body for big body. So I don't think there's any other trait other than mammoth foot that could help us out with being able to stay warm. Yeah, medium ears just increase hearing. The big ears actually decrease cold resistance. What kind of ears do we have on right now then? Just medium ears. All right, I guess like for some reason for a second I was like, what, could you have like small ears and stay even warmer? So it kind of confused me for a moment. But all right, so our goal today is going to be getting Deathandrius and Simi to be able to meet and hopefully keeping Deathandrius alive long enough to get in the hot springs. And I also think that little Akadok is actually quite adventurous, and he wants to leave this little nest side, which will be another blow to Elfrida's opinion of the tribe staying close together when it snows. But his somewhat trickster, somewhat rebellious son would decide, you know what, Dad, I'm gonna go against your long-held values, and he's gonna run off. So let's see if we can make all this happen. Fingers crossed. All right. So this guy is going to start heading out, even if he's a little chilly. And this little one, come on, Deathandrius. Come on, he needs to warm up, but I can't move him from that nest. And I think that Moon definitely needs to continue having her children, so we'll just have to perch her right there. And then Anna is trying to help her family out. I think she'd be a little bit alarmed that her older brother is headed off and just ignoring their father's calls to come back to the safety of the family tree with the snow. And her younger brother is too sick to go near. I think that would upset her quite a bit. If I had a couple of creatures I could afford, I mean, technically, I could have these two siblings actually guide their younger brother, and I think I may have him do that. I feel like Anna might rush over and try to get her brother's attention, and we might actually semi-sacrifice Akidok and Anna to take Deathandrius up to the healing hot springs and keep him from being too cold to move. But we may do that as kind of not only a family gesture, but as a way to isolate the genes that we really need, which are the mammoth foot. Why did I almost call it megafoot? I guess it is kind of like a megafoot in a way. But I think that that's also because Elfrida really has done his best for the family, and even if Akadok wants to explore over here and he really wants to have like the opportunity to just wander and do his own thing, maybe deep inside he too wants to take care of the tribe. So I think that's what we'll have done. All right, Moon will stay right here, and then Elfrida will be like tragically watching over his son and very, very frustrated, but trying to hold to the lessons that he learned from his father Tataku to leave sick nishlings born during the snowy times alone in the nest, because it is up to the god Yuki/Lala, who changes gender and names now and then, to decide whether or not this young child is strong enough to live. So we must leave poor Deathandrius alone. Alright, then over here we've got Tasco, who also has an uncle. I don't think we really need to breed him now for sure, but he might actually also get to help if Akadok refuses to come over. He might go over and help out his little nephew. For now, he's going to eat those clams, and then we're going to get Corey scooched over, and Zolai is going to scooch over, and we're going to get Crove having babies, because we got to keep this branch of the Yukir family tree nice and strong. So everybody's going to jump over here. I'll have Crove jump down here. And everyone stay together. Stay together. It's snowy times. You know the rules. Snowy times mean the whole family sticks together. That's been passed down to the Yukirs now from Tataku, and especially Elfrida. He may not really command a lot of attention from a lot of the pure-blooded Yukirs because he doesn't have mega horns, and it's just not as impressive to listen to somebody who doesn't even have like little twiggy antlers, let alone a mega horn. But they understand the spirit of the Yukir tribe to stick together in the snows. And that's kind of ironic because now I have to send Simi across. So we're going to send Simi rushing over here, and she's going to visit with this little cluster of the family for a bit, and then we're going to hopefully have her and Deathandrius breed. That's really like the perfect pair, and I need to make that happen. And now that the snow has started falling, I think Camise has decided that this is a just fine spot to have her children, the last of her children, and she's very happy to roost here. So we'll have Torikin jump up here and help out, and they'll stay under this family tree and gather up what food they can. And then, holy days, last time we had a huge surprise with Zakai's birth. And Zakai is actually the child of Kuno and Opal. And we were not expecting Zakai to be as surprising as he is, but he actually ended up with mega horns born from these two. He ended up with cracker jaw and recessive gills, and he ended up with one mammoth foot. So he inherited Kuno's mammoth foot. He actually is kind of a lot further ahead than the other side of the mountain with trying to get in the mammoth foot, the ram horns, or excuse me, the mega horns, and he has no armored body, which is, I would argue, one of the most important Yukir traits, and no hammertail, but he has recessive hammertail. So he was quite the surprise, and that is why we are going to allow Opal to go ahead and have another child with Kuno. I think I'm going to go ahead. I might wait till her child is old enough to leave the current nest that he's in. So I think she's just going to come over and try to warm her son up, and I think Kuno would come over and try to make sure that his pregnant mate, and Opal's kind of a wanderer. I think she might have many mates, but make sure that she's okay too. All right, and then we have our little adventurous hedgehogs who have actually been roaming around. We have Cory, we have Tuin, and we have Duvai. They're a little bit chilled, but if they learn to kind of travel in this very careful pack together, then hopefully they will be able to wander, they will be able to attack Minnie and Dodomingo and eat them if they so wish, and they will be able to clear away, oh look at that tiny little Dodomingo drumstick. Oh my gosh. And they'll be able to clear away a little bit of a path so that our odd little hedgehog group of the Yukirs can wander off and do their own adventure. I have backed up the save now so that we may actually come back one day and we may do a little bit of a side adventure with Duvai, Cory, and Tuin, because there's something about them that I just really like. So we may do a side story taking these three and seeing if we can make it to a new island with them and letting them propagate their little hedgehog hearts away on a whole new land. All right, so all of that done. Got more babies coming in. Whoa, look at that snow. Holy moly, there's some serious snow going on. Yes, and Dethandrius has actually survived long enough that I can get him at least this far, so he might make it to the hot springs just yet. That would be absolutely fantastic. So I feel like Akadok might risk running away. There's no hot springs on this side, so it's kind of like a bit of a threat to his life, but he might risk running away and exploring still. Ooh, and he found a nest of his very own. I think that just the taste of exploring on his own is what would distract him. And I think that Ana is still distressed that her younger brother is sickly, but she's relieved that the god Yuki has apparently decided he is worthy of living and has allowed him to regain enough strength to head up to the healing hot springs on his own. Wonderful. Also, what the heck? What? What? Elfrida, your faith in the Yukir family line has been richly rewarded. What? Oh my gosh, guys. What just happened here? Okay, hang on. I need a really fancy name. I'm pulling up the name list, hundreds of names that you guys have submitted. Always feel free to leave more in the comments, as I've mentioned many times in the previous episodes. If I'm going to be attempting this challenge of doing a daily niche for the rest of the year, which would be so exciting, then I need lots and lots of names. And I'm so excited about all of the little extra things that are coming up with niche because of that challenge too. I totally didn't expect that. Anyway, getting distracted. Let's focus on this amazing guy. I need to come up with a really cool name, so I'm gonna look for one that really leaps out at me as a possible oh, here's a whole bunch that have let's go with, let's see, here's some male names. I really love it when you guys give me names that actually have like cool little descriptions of what they represent. So we're gonna go with Ulias. Let's see. And then Ulias. There we go. So we're gonna go with little Ulias and we're gonna follow him. But I love when you guys give names that have like little parentheses and describe what you think that name means in your world, because that's really cool. But Ulias is amazing because holy moly, he has got the mega horns, cracker jaw, armored body, double mammoth foot, and he has recessive hammertail. He is almost perfect, considering they had only one little recessive hammertail gene amongst 4 of them to pass on. The fact that he ended up with that recessive hammertail, he is now officially one of the most amazing creatures, and he is one of the ones we are definitely going to have breed with some of our purebred, oh my gosh, I still have my cold, I apologize, I sound so wonky donkey, but he's gonna have his pick of the lovely ladies over here. Oh my goodness. We even have, Corey would even be a good mate for him. You guys, we've done it. We have done it. Huzzah! Huzzah! We just need to make sure that we get that hammertail going on, and we have that mammutfoot maybe passed on with at least 3 out of the 5 creatures that we'll send, because last time we only sent like 1 or 2 creatures with mammutfoot and it died off super fast. So we'll try to make sure the majority have at least 1 mammutfoot, because holy wow, this is amazing. Elias, you're really plain looking, but you're amazing. And I think that Elfrida would just be so relieved and so proud and feel like his faith in the snowy skies and his following through and leaving his sickly son to the mercy of the snow god Yukir. Or excuse me, Yuki. I feel like he feels like this is the fertility blessing that he just got from the fertility god, is a son who pretty much fits almost every single trait we were going for. Boom! Which also means that unfortunately in the future the Yukirs are probably going to err on the side of leaving sickly babies alone in the snows to fend for themselves, but such is life, I suppose. Alright, well that was way too exciting. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that Moon is expectant if I can, before, let's see. Oh, now we're having trouble with fertility. Alright, well we'll try to get Moon expectant if I can, because Elfrida only has a couple days left, and Elias I think is going to be the pride and joy of his older sister Anna's eyes, so she'll watch over him too. And I think all of this hubbubaloo would have had Tasco brought over to see what the heck is going on, also to help Anna not to freeze to death. So whew, that's exciting. Alright, meanwhile Simi is keeping nearby. We'll kind of have her stay over here, and hopefully she and Deathondrius can still try having a few children, just to make sure we add in more chances of really benefiting from extra mammutfoot and all of the other Yukir genes. And we have we have 1 little girl, Sila. Ooh, I actually like that name enough that I think I'm gonna leave her name Sila. Wow, look at her! Amazing! Super high fertility, hammertail. She's got this beautiful panda pattern. The only thing she's kind of missing is like her sister Zole. Well, I don't think she's related to Zole, like sister-wise. But she's just missing the black mega horns to really stand out. But Sila and Elias can have children together. Oh, I'm so happy. We've got them, you guys. It's this next generation, and then it's going to be the perfect Yukir genes to pass on to the next line. Yes. Do I really need to have more children? I don't think so. Oh no, we've got a sickly one! Everybody abandon ship! Abandon ship! Oh my goodness. What am I gonna do? Simi's gonna run for it, recognizing the illness. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh my gosh, everybody get out of the way. Get out of the way. Okay, Crove, you've got a Fernandand. Oh my goodness, we've got all these creatures, and they're gonna have to get out of the way. Dang it. Crovey, can you get pregnant with Crove, maybe? Alright, we've got to get away from this sickly baby, unfortunately. And the nest. I want to keep that nest, because that's the nest that technically has the balance bear pelt in it. Akia, can you go ahead? There we go. She is pregnant once more. And we're going to have to watch out for this little guy. And let's give him the poor sickly thing, who now must be left to the risk of the snow. His name is Kiro. Again, a name from your guys' list. I love these lists. Corey's gonna scooch down here and hopefully stay nice and warm with her family. And then Ferdinand, he's like perfectly bred up Yukir line. So I'll go ahead and give him the blues. And then Zole also gets the blues because she is perfectly purebred. And then let's see, anybody else? Let's see, Corey. Same thing, perfectly purebred, so she gets all the blues, and the more blues we have, the better, because it means that we have protected these genes. And Zole, I think, will come down here and just kind of like curl up, and everybody's super nervous about what's going to happen to little baby Sela, who would have been so perfect with her really high fertility to breed with Elias. Oh, hopefully that'll work out okay. I love watching the mega horns move, by the way, when our nichelings are trying to decide what to do next. It's just very interesting. What? Another sickly nicheling! No! Another sickly nicheling. But again, a nicheling with really interesting immunities. Oh my. And let's see. She has D immunity, so she could be a potential mate, and she's very beautiful because she has the hammer tail and she's got the black mega horns, and I just really feel like black mega horns are one of the most attractive things in our niche tribe right now. Kind of maybe hearkening a little bit back to the black rose line we used to have. So, oh my gosh, Anarira. I'm just gonna name her Andrea. Normally I'll pick your guys' names, but she just really seems to be an Andrea to me. She's unfortunately sickly, so we're gonna have to kind of scooch out of her way and sort of abandon this side of the nest. And I think Camise would be very upset and really worried what's going to happen to her sickly child. She would really want to keep an eye on everything as much as she can. The poor little one. Here, can I drop a nut on top of your head? Camise would be very upset, but they have seen that they need to back away from the children who were born sickly and let the god Yuki decide whether or not they get to live. Alright, and then over here, look at that! Zakai, you've got those big old legs! That's amazing! And Zakai is really strong and healthy. I think Zakai is actually going to set out and he is going to wander with the hedgehogs. He and the hedgehogs are going to head off together. We're going to grab that Dodomingo drumstick before we go. And I think that they're going to just travel as a group to see what is out there in the world. And Zakai is just kind of a curious one. And I think his parents would wish him well and see him off with a lot of ceremony and just like, goodbye, goodbye. And I feel like Kuno kind of knows that Opal has the same sort of wandering spirit, so she'll probably want to move on in the future too. And Anakiri, we'll scooch Anakiri over here. And Kuno, we've got to keep him over here if we're going to keep them all warm. It is snowing, so we've got to keep everybody near the family nest. Apparently, even the Dodomingo. Hello, little Dodomingo. All right, so everybody is tucked away. We've got the right things in the mutation menu. We have our risky wandering son who might freeze to death over there. And we are getting Deathandria scooched up. So, moving on. Oh my. That's what you get, you nimnut. I bet his sister would be so upset about that. Alright, Tasco is gonna come on over. So Tasco and Ana. What just happened? How could I have lost a baby? How could I have lost a baby? Did my sickly child just get eaten? My jaw's on the ground. Sela has been saved by a bird. I am sad because we lost one of our babies, but I am also amazed because it truly is like the god Yuki said, no, this one didn't make it. This one gets eaten by a bird because he has to be exposed to the snows. Let's see. One of our creatures is bleeding. I'm gonna have to figure out who's bleeding. Well, that nest is now empty. It has been so long since we've lost an armored-bodied nicheling baby, and this guy is to blame. I think everybody would be a little bit overexcited about that event. Sela, we're going to scoot you down, though, because you staying alive and well was extremely important. Akia is going to jump into this nest. Krove needs to get... come on. There we go. We've got another pregnancy going on over here. Ferdinand will try to make sure everybody stays warm. I think he'd be a little bit worried about his sisters. We have a lot of beautiful panda pattern sisters going on, which is really ironic because there's all striped parents giving birth to panda pattern children. And then Krove, we'll go ahead and destroy this nest to get the most out of the food we have available. But he is very, very old, actually. And can he actually... Zole, you grow up in like a couple more days, but I think Crow will die before then. Otherwise, they would be able to possibly have a baby together, I think. No, they share immunity H. All right, well, at least we have a goodly population of our pure bred niche creatures right over here. That's kind of a tragedy that we lost a baby to the bluebird, but at the same time, it's a relief because now we have the future mate of Elias nice and healthy, and we know that he's going to be okay. All right, and Simi, actually, I wonder if Simi would make a good mate for Elias. Nope, she wouldn't. She would still make a better mate for Death Andreas because they share, oh, what's this? Anala? Hello, Anala. Interesting. Spit snout female wandering on her own. Well, I do like inviting random people into the tribe, so we'll have to think about that. Oh, and that's right, we were on a rescue mission. Anna was coming over to warm up her brother, and she was super worried that he was going to die from the cold. So now he's managed to convince his uncle and his sister to come on his big adventure with him here on this side of the island. So I don't know what his father would think about that, but that's okay because Moon's already given birth to the wonderful Elias, so I think it'll be all right. Moon, there we go. But unfortunately, Elfrida is about to pass away, so whew, that's going to be a little bit rough on making sure that we get, making sure that we get those mammut foods passed on. But Elias is here, and Moon will jump into the nest to give birth to one final child before Elfrida passes away. And they have really, the sister and brother team, actually produced some amazing children, and I really actually love Asidok's very adventurous and naughty spirit, and the way he's kind of pulled Anna, his sister, into his mischievous exploring instead of focusing on the staying under the family tree when it snows importance of the Yukir tribe. All right, and how's our little baby over here? Oh, Andrea, I'm so sorry. I think this would be so upsetting for her mother. I think that she would just dash over here and be like feeding her berries as she can reach them. And I think Lavasi is also coming over, like they're gathering up the berries and dropping them off, trying to make sure that they can offer little Andrea what support they can. And then let's see, let's come over here. Opal, what kind of interesting child have you given birth to now? We have, oh my gosh, another armored bodied baby. What? All right, he's not quite as unique as we were kind of aiming for in some ways, but I think we might keep Opal over here, maybe, in breeding with Kuno, because they do have some very unique children. And we might start putting special mutation menu tweaks into the mutation menu when we breed her in the hopes of encouraging some better fishers. So we might really start putting the gills back in. We might start putting in Nimblefinger again whenever we breed Opal so that we can, you know, fingers and paws crossed, end up with some creatures before we hit the hard island who do have some water abilities. So we might look into that. We're kind of getting high up on the number of nichelings born. So might need to kind of ease up on that a bit. And we're actually going to name her son Fog. Huh. That is just the first male nicheling name that I randomly rolled to on the list, and I actually think it fits pretty well. So Opal, we're going to have you have a child named Fog, and then we're going to go ahead. Is she going to get pregnant again? Maybe? Yep, alright, so she is now expecting. I don't feel like Anakiri actually wants to have a child with Kuno at this rate, but she does like helping to take care of the family and helping to take care of the nest and the nichelings, so she'll stay here. And then we have our little wandering Zakai, who is enjoying his adventures with our little hedgehog group. There we go. And the little hedgehog group are just kind of like the very first adventurers we've ever had who are actually clearing up the grass around them. And Tuyin is just going to enjoy that very nice little hot springs. So, all right, we've got some fantastic, very, very, very lucky births this time around. I think it's going to spur along our goals with the Yukirs really quickly. And we may hopefully be able to get all those prehistoric genes painfully wrapped up into just a few niche creatures and then send them on to the next island very soon. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.